So I definitely take great pride in wearing both uniforms. I didn't think I would still be in the Marine Corps after 24 years. There aren't very many of us on the fire department that are still actively in the reserves. In the Marine Corps, I'm Master Gunnery Sergeant Nicholas Darcy. I've been in the Marines for 24 years now. Did 5 years active duty, been in the reserves ever since. And then on the fire department, it's firefighter paramedic, and I've been on the fire department since 2007, so about almost going on 19 years.
My name's David Ariano, an inspector with the Los Angeles City Fire Department. I've been on the fire department for 22 years. I'm also in the United States Marines Reserves. I hold the rank of Master Gunnery Sergeant. I've been faithfully serving for the past 28 years. I was born in East LA. My dad was LAPD, so kind of a hard individual. His dad, my grandpa, was a World War II Marine who was a Purple Heart recipient during the Battle of the Pacific, and specifically on the island of Guadalcanal. So he was brought up by a Marine, and he pretty much voluntold my brother and I that we were going to be going to the Marine Corps after we graduated from high school.
My name is Jason Knoll. I'm a Master Gunnery Sergeant retired in the United States Marine Corps. I did 29 years of service with the Marine Corps. I've been with the Los Angeles Fire Department for about 17 years at this point. I was born in Torrance, raised in Hermosa Beach. When I was in high school, there was a Marine Corps ROTC program. I found out I wanted to join the Marine Corps, mostly because I got to see the Marines that were running the program there.
I grew up in Castaic, a little town outside of Santa Clarita, and being outside as much as I did kind of gave me the reason why I wanted to become a Marine. So I default to Operation Iraqi Freedom because that's most memorable of my deployments, obviously going to Iraq. In Iraq, we were doing convoys, a lot of convoys. We were doing a lot of protection of diplomats, the ambassador, generals, stuff like that. Through Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, our other missions that we did was shipboarding. We probably boarded a dozen ships that were suspected Al-Qaeda ships, and we would search them with other branches of the military and deem who was a terrorist and who wasn't, and then just escorting ships through very dangerous waters. As far as how it impacted me, I would say it gave me a great appreciation and deeper love for our nation, our military, and deep down pride of what I was doing and helping people.
When I was in Iraq, we were in Kuwait. We were living in a large tent city, and there was an electrical fire, and it burned down all of our tents. All of our equipment burned down, all of our personal belongings burned down. We all tried to put it out with the fire extinguishers, but none of us had any formal training on how to extinguish a fire. At that point, I started to have the desire to know what to do in that situation. So then I started pursuing fire tech classes, and that's what kind of set me on the path to end up being a firefighter.
While I was in the Marine Corps, the decision to look towards the LAFD was not really a decision that I made. Growing up in the 90s, everyone wanted to be a firefighter. And I didn't think that it was something that was really possible for me to do. Not because I wasn't strong enough, but I just didn't know anything about it. And so I went to the Marine Corps, kind of found my voice, but I still didn't have any direction towards the fire department. My mom, God bless her soul, she worked in the city, and she was like, come downtown with me to a fire and police expo. And hesitantly, I just honored her and went downtown and filled out one of those green interest cards. And from that interest card came this job. It's a wonderful testament to the dedication that my mom had to raise her son and to put me in a position that can provide for my family in the future. It means a lot to have fellow firefighters in the Los Angeles City Fire Department that are also fellow Master Gunnery Sergeants in the Marine Corps Reserves. To get to that level of rank in the Marine Corps, it's not an easy task. In fact, the percentage of Marines that do attain that rank are less than 1%. It's an incredible feat.
When you're the rank of gunnery sergeant, you choose which path you want to go within the Marine Corps. You can either become a first sergeant, sergeant major, which is in charge of the administrations of the Marine Corps, or you can choose to be a technical expert, which is the master sergeant, master gunnery sergeant. So it's pretty difficult to obtain the rank. There's not that many of them within the Marine Corps Reserves, and then to have 2 other ones just within our own department's pretty remarkable. We each have separate jobs, so we're all master gunnery sergeants, but each one of us has a different discipline that we handle.
So master gunnery sergeants are unique amongst their MOS or their job. So with myself, I'm infantry. So as a master gunnery sergeant in the infantry, my role is what's called an operations chief. So I am basically in charge of a command, working for a commanding officer, their tactics and their operations. So anything on a tactical level, I am setting up, I am orchestrating, I am organizing, and also when units are deployed, I'm tracking where they're at, when they're coming back, where they're gonna be, how they're gonna get there, and stuff like that. With my position, I get to directly work with hundreds of Marines and sailors. So the joy I get is just helping with guys' proficiency. In the military, just like the fire department, what we do is a matter of life and death. So the better you are at your job, the safer you're gonna be. And to have men and women over the last 20 years that I run into tell me, I appreciate everything you did, and this is years later, and they're like, you set me up for a successful future and deployments. So just being able to be that person that helps somebody be so proficient that when they do deploy, they feel safe.
So the Marine Corps is all about teamwork, right? You take the best of everybody who you're working with and you bring it together so that you can accomplish the mission. And those skills are transferable to the fire department just as is.
Marine Corps definitely sets us up for success.
Being good at one makes me better at the other.
What we do in the Marines is very parallel to the fire department. We're working as a team, following orders, respecting people's experience above me. The fire department and the military is not about age, it's not about rank per se, it's about your experience as well. And there's many people out there that, have a lot to learn from. So bringing that over to the fire department was just natural progression. And then just the fire department, it's such a great organization. Working in LA, working for LAFD in particular, I couldn't ask for 2 better careers, 2 better paths, and they take great care of me. The fire department allows me to do this. If it wasn't for the support of the Los Angeles City Fire Department, I wouldn't be able to even maintain this career with the Marine Corps.
I find it important to serve as a firefighter and as a Marine, primarily to give an example to my kids. I want them to know that there's a lot of honor in serving, being a civil servant, someone who helps others. And I think that giving that type of service is one of the best ways to show that. Veterans Day, it means a lot because not only have I spent the past almost 3 decades serving, but that would mean that my family has also done the same in one way or another. It's not just the veteran, it's the family that is supporting that veteran. And numerous amount of spouses and kids that have had to go through multiple deployments. The appreciation for veterans extends very far, and it's deeply appreciated.
So Veterans Day, for me, goes back to way before I was in the Marine Corps. My grandfather, he was a Pearl Harbor survivor. He was at Pearl Harbor when it was bombed. So when he passed away, between Memorial Day and Veterans Day, those holidays mean a lot because we've had an interesting history in America as far as, how each veteran has been recognized and how our, the public perceived them. And, we've had times where they were, heroes, and we've had times, that people weren't recognized as well, like Vietnam era. So if you know a veteran, whether you thank him or just give him a pat or a hug, they do appreciate it, especially the older veterans that, might not have felt that love when they got out of the service. For me, showing that love and respect and honoring those people that came before me and the ones that are still serving, and teaching my children that respect, it means a lot to me. And, I hope that, everybody else can show, them that respect.